On the routine with Spence on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Emma Spence.
Hello. Welcome to Beyond the Routine with Spence. I am your host, Emma Spence, and I am here with Yanni Chronopoulos. Yanni is a men's artistic gymnast here at Nebraska. He is also a multiple-time Canadian national team member. Lots of amazing results, achieved so many great things. A world championship team member last year, Olympic alternate for Canada this year, and much more we will dive into. So let's get started with the introduction. So, Yanni, where are you from? What's your background? Tell us your story.
From Milton, Ontario, which is probably like 45 minutes from where you're from.
I'd say even less, maybe.
Less,
Maybe like 30? I don't know.
Speak with Mike. Yeah, so about 30 minutes away. Exactly, you want to know?
Okay, another thing that's funny that we should mention is that I've known you since I was probably like, I don't know, 9 years old, 9 years old, because I used to train with his sister. So Yanni and I have known each other for a long time, going back when we were in Canada. So how'd you get started in gymnastics? What was that like for you? Because you were really good from a very young age. Like you were on the national team or like
Yeah.
looking to be on the national team when you were pretty young.
Yeah, I feel like it was because just the gym I was at, like I was surrounded with a bunch of guys that when I got there, I wasn't at their level. Then I became good friends with them. So I kind of felt like I had to keep up a little bit. And kind of took me about 1 or 2 years maybe to get really to their level. And yeah, I mean, I feel like when growing up and you go to like your first provincials and first nationals and stuff like that, you kind of have an understanding of like, okay, who's the good people in our area. And I feel like we had a good group at our gym, and then on the women's side of things, it was your gym, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you started, how old were you when you started?
I was 10 actually.
10. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
so
kind
I
of late for
started
a
pretty
gymnast,
late.
right?
Yeah, I did like a rec class when I was younger, and I really never was into it. And
Mm-hmm.
then a gym opened up 10 minutes from my house, and there was a sign. Actually, it was like literally right beside our family restaurant.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
yeah, that's when my parents saw it, and they were like, "Okay, well, maybe we'll try this again, especially since it's so close." I got there and I met David, which you know who he is.
David
Yeah,
Sandro.
David
Shout out to
Sandro,
David.
Oklahoma gymnast.
Yes. And
Um,
former Canadian national team
and
member.
yeah, so he was kind of in the community with us as well. And just as like a 10-year-old, we were good friends. So it initially started like, okay, I did summer camp with David, and he would hang out there because his dad owned the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then the summer camp would be over, and I'd be like, okay, I want to go hang out with David, my new friend.
Yeah.
But he was training. I was like, well, can I do the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then my parents signed me up, and it's kind of how I got into it, basically. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. It was
Yeah.
more like to be able to hang out with your friend at
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
And that's funny that that was with David. I didn't know that.
hmm
So once you started, you got into it. When did you realize like, okay, this is something that I really want to commit to and you like really want to get serious about it? Or like when you knew you were close to making the national team or wanted to? How did that start?
Well, I'd say it was maybe 1 or 2 years, maybe 2 years into competitive, like low level competitive career where I it was funny. I did a vault in a compulsory routine, which if you don't do the vault that they tell you to do, you get a zero.
Oh, I
And
didn't know that.
I couldn't do this vault, so I did like an easier version. I just got a zero. And then my parents were like, "Okay, you can't be competing and getting zeros."
Yeah.
And they heard of this like, and they just thought I was there just to hang out with my friend. And like I said, I wanted to continue gym, so they said like, "Okay, we're gonna we're gonna bring you to this gym because you're too preoccupied hanging out with your friends and you're not training hard." So then I was all upset about it, but then I met my new friends, and yeah, that's kind of when I was like, okay, these guys are a lot better than me, and I don't want to get any more zeros. So let's take this a little more seriously. Um, I guess it came in waves though. Like at first, taking it seriously is like I want to continue doing gymnastics for the future,
Mhm.
and then it's like you go through your teenage years and you're like, all right, I just want to get by. Then we can hang out after practice. And then now it's like, okay, I'm here on a college team. Like it's like a
Mhm.
different level of serious. Um, but yeah, that was kind of like a gradual, like in and out of focus. But
Mhm.
it really started when I joined my futures, my second
Okay, so
gym.
you
Yeah,
started off at gold medal,
yeah,
and that was more kinda like hanging out
yeah.
with
Just
David,
hanging out.
and
Yeah,
then you went to futures, and that's when you kinda had to, like,
yeah,
lock in.
yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
And then were there any other people on the national team at that point that, like, inspired you to, like, wanna make the national team, or you just kinda wanted to see where, like, your career would take you? Or was there ever a moment that you were like, "I wanna be on Team Canada, I wanna represent the country," like all the other, like, older kids did?
I think it was I want to make the national team with the group of guys that I'm training with. Because at that time it
Yeah.
was like the junior national team.
Mhm.
And you didn't wanna be the guy that's, like, left out, because they
Yeah.
go on all these trips and, like, you're competing at every competition, you're like, "Okay, I got 2nd and this guy got 3rd." And then the next one, it's like, "Oh, that guy who won got 3rd and I got 2nd." Or you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, it was
Yeah.
just going back and forth. So it was like a constant competition between 3 or 4 of us, and we all knew that we had a pretty good shot at making national team, and we didn't wanna be left out. So, yeah, I guess that was just a push within our group, and I was just lucky to be around that kinda group of guys.
Did the group of you guys all end up making the team?
Juniors, yeah, I would say it was me, Evgeny, and Dorian.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that was like the main group. All three of us are still involved in gymnastics now, and I think Dorian's like
Is he still
he
training?
should make national team. He's
Really?
yeah,
That's funny.
I would vouch for him, but
And then Evgeny's at
Evgeny is
Michigan
he's at
too.
Michigan. Yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Um, so, okay, what year did you actually make the national team then? Because I think you were pretty young as a
yeah.
junior.
I went again. It was like kind of weird. Like the structure was like junior aspire team something like
Like the younger junior and then the older junior and then
yeah
the
yeah
younger senior, older senior.
And they changed it up over the years so many times, so it's kinda
Yeah.
hard to like, we would go to national team, like, training camps, but my first really my first senior national team status was about a year ago.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, at a camp, they just announced that me and Evgeny had made the team,
Yeah.
so we didn't really see that coming. It was just a random day where he
Mhm.
lined us up, our national team coach, and was like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, guys, you guys are on national team." It's
Yeah.
like, "Okay, that's, like, sweet, that's good."
Cool.
But yeah, it was recent, honestly.
Yeah. Cause yeah, you were on the junior team for a while, and then when you came here, were you still on the national team, or you kinda took a break for your first
Yeah.
couple years, and then you kinda decide to return to it?
Yeah, so my goal initially was like, okay, I'm gonna go to college and go to nationals every year.
Yeah.
And you think that that's gonna go really well, but then you have a complete change in lifestyle.
Mhm.
And you're just like, every freshman has that like adjustment year where usually your skills go a little bit downhill and you move away from your parents and it's just a whole new thing. So
And in a different
in
country
a
for
different
us too.
country, yeah. That was just an adjustment year. Then same thing with my sophomore year. I
Mhm.
was like almost there, but not being used to like such a long season. And I
Yes.
had just gotten appendix surgery
That's right. That
too.
was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was like, oh, I should have probably made national like went to nationals, but I didn't just because of that stuff. And then yeah, my junior year was the first year that I went um after getting like going to college, yeah.
Yeah, and that was nationals. That was your first one back?
Yeah,
That would have been 2023.
2023
I remember that because we went with
in
Brian.
BC with Brian, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was fun. It was a
Mhm.
fun competition.
Yeah.
So after that, you made the team, and then you went to the World Championships the same year?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. That was the same year. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, like the process for that, it was again kind of weird because the the first team, like we have our 15-man national team,
Mhm.
but usually like a traveling team is 5 guys,
Yeah.
5 or 6 guys. So that team competed in day 1 of nationals
Mhm.
and then they
Oh,
went
we
to
had to go.
Colombia.
That's right.
Yeah. And the the results were kind of skewed from that nationals because the top 5 guys weren't there for the
Yeah.
second day, and they combined the days for the results. So I would say that mattered just to get myself like back in the picture of Gymnastics
Yeah.
Canada after being away for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Um, but it didn't really like qualify me for a team.
Yeah.
I um I had been invited to like tiny training camps along the way. So we'd all go to Montreal, and I kind of tried to insert myself kind of in that group of guys that it's like, okay, I'm trying, and hopefully, like, I believe that I'm one of these top 5, 6 guys on the team. And
Yeah.
then we went and we had our world's trials, and that's how we determined the Antwerp
Mhm.
world's team. Yeah.
And that was a big deal for you guys.
Yeah, that one was huge. That
That
one
was
was
a
the
historic.
Olympic qualification.
Yeah.
16 years, I think it was, since
Yeah.
we, yeah.
First you guys qualified a full team,
Hmm.
and it was also the best ranking that Team Canada's men team has ever gotten, right?
What did we get? I don't
You
know.
guys
I
were
think we got
4th,
like,
I think.
no,
No?
no, we got, I don't even remember.
I
This is
think
bad that I don't
yeah, I
remember.
it was either I think it was 4th, but I don't know. 4th or 5th.
Yeah, yeah, but all we cared about basically was that top 12, and we
Exactly.
were stressing to get top 12 too.
Yes.
Like, that was the number on the board, and we were like, okay, we have to beat like this team. Like, we're thinking like, okay, we can edge out I don't know, like Germany. We can beat Germany. Then we can
Yeah.
beat like, it was just like we had Hungary, like all these teams. We're like, okay, if we beat these guys, then these guys can't beat us, and then these guys we can't beat them. So like we will fit in somewhere here. And we are just crunching numbers, but at the end of the day, we were like, okay, we just have to go and like not think of any of this. And yeah, we did way better because
Yeah, you
yeah,
guys did great. And for people that don't know, to qualify a full team to the Olympics, gymnastics, you needed to be top 12 as a team.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what they were looking for. They were trying to get in that top 12, but they ended up 4th or 5th. I don't
yeah.
really
We don't
know.
know. It doesn't matter. We made it.
Yeah, they made it.
Yeah,
They made the country very proud. Made history, well, for the amount of time that it happened.
yeah.
So, very exciting. And then after that, you you didn't go to any other meets the rest of that year, did you? That
Kind of. It was like,
Did you go to Pan Am's?
no, I
Okay.
was alternate, or I was alternate for both of them, but I
Okay, yeah.
was non-traveling. Like, they didn't travel the alternate
Okay,
for
for
Pan
Pan
Am
Am's.
Games.
Yep.
So yeah, I was watching from here, but that, like, we had learned, okay, we qualified.
Yeah.
And
You're like,
then
it's
there were
safe.
so many like little, even before Worlds, there was like a competition we had in Romania, and it was
Yeah.
just like training camp in here, and then a little competition here, and then it's like we arranged a friendly with this team and that team. Like, it's such a blur to me because like
Mhm.
we went to Romania twice, and
Yeah.
I can't like differentiate which like routine, or like if I was happy with the first one or the second one. Like,
And was it the same
yeah,
place in Romania too?
yeah,
Like you guys have
yeah,
like a spot that you go to there?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was the same competition.
Oh, a
We
competition.
stayed
Okay.
in a different neighborhood, and one was more fun than the other, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. And then go back to so next 2024.
Mhm.
Did you end up going to Elite Canada?
I did.
That
That
was crazy. Talk
that's a
about
funny
that.
story.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was talking with our, like, program manager, on the men's side, and we were like, or he was telling me, "Okay, it's LA Canada is mandatory for the national team." I was like, "Okay, but, like, if I have a competition, like, I have a collegiate obligation here,
Yeah.
basically." Like, we compete on, I think it was Friday or Saturday,
Mhm.
but it was the day before day 1 of Elite
Of
Canada.
the
So
Elite
it was,
Canada. And
oh
Elite Canada's like kinda was being used as a qualifier for the Olympics for you
yeah,
guys,
it's like
right? Like
you
part of
had
it?
to go to that to keep your national team status to be eligible for, like, Olympic selection.
So you had to go pretty much. If
Yeah.
you wanted to make the Olympics, you had to
Yeah,
make it work.
exactly. So, it was home meet here, and then I land my high bar dismount, and high bar is the last event, so, like, I I had to wait the whole time. Like,
Yes, that's
it's not
right.
like I competed on floor the first event and then I could just go to the airport. Like, this is less than 24 hours before I have to compete on the other side of the continent,
Actually, I
basically.
remember this because I think we competed right after you guys, so I was in the training room, like, getting my ankles taped,
Mhm.
and then you, like, stuck your head and you're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, have a good meet. I'm going to, like" was it Saskatchewan?
No, it was BC. It
It was
was
BC?
yeah.
Oh, because there was a time change.
It was in Langley, I
That's
think, BC.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty far.
Yeah,
Like,
still even further because the
yeah.
time changes even more, but I just remember you're like, "Bye, I'm heading to Canada," and I was just like, "Wow, good luck.
Going to
I'm about to
Vancouver, yeah.
compete." Yeah, that
Yeah.
was cool.
So I literally landed my high bar dismount,
Mhm,
took my grips off, and then I was like, "Okay, guys, like let's wrap this up because my flight's in like an hour."
mhm.
So then they were like lined up to sign autographs, and I was like gone basically.
Yeah,
Like I
you
had to
just had to,
leave,
like yeah, you had
and
to
then they
leave.
told me like they're like looking for me, and then someone
Really?
was like, "Oh, he's going to the airport right now."
Yeah, he's going to Canada.
Yeah, and then luckily it was the Lincoln Airport because I
Okay.
was at the gate probably 30 minutes after I did a competition. Like I landed my dismount, and I was like, I can't even comprehend what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But then I got to Vancouver
That night too?
that night.
That's
Yeah,
crazy because that's a
2
far
flights
yeah,
too.
that's far.
Yeah, and I got there probably 1 a.m.
Oh,
that
wow.
time, which was 1 a.m. their times, like 3 or 4 a.m. Lincoln time, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, right? Uh, Woke up, did a little stretch, and then 3 hours later, we competed.
Oh, it was that
Yeah, it
day.
was like 2 or 3 p.m. that day.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my goodness." I went up on high bar. This is just I can't understand what's going on,
Yeah, because you
basically,
literally
yeah.
just competed in a different country less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah, yeah. But
That's
it was
wild.
cool. It was
Yeah,
like
how did it go? Or, like, what events did you do at that
uh,
one, I guess?
I went in being like, "Okay, I'm gonna warm up and just compete," like, because there was no pressure to get certain scores. It was just like you had to go.
Mhm.
So I was like, "I'm gonna warm stuff up, and if I don't feel safe doing something, I'm not gonna do it."
Yeah.
So then I went in, warmed up vault, I remember, and I was like, "There's no way I'm vaulting. Like, I'm gonna die on this, basically." So then I dropped that one, and I did pommel horse, P-bars, and high bar.
Okay.
And high bar was a little bit of a question because I was doing releases, and I was like, "Should I be doing this, really?" But then I made it work kinda
Mhm.
thing. Yeah, it went okay. Day 1 was a lot sketchier than day 2 was, and I think that a lot had to do with the travel.
Yeah.
But once I got all the
So you actually
yeah.
competed 2 days in Canada
Yeah,
after the
yeah.
I didn't know you did 2. I thought you were just gonna make it to 1
It
day.
was 3 meets in 4 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Back-to-back days too. The or no, I think we had 1 day in between. So it
Yeah,
was Nebraska day 1, off day 2.
and then come back.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you the only person that did that, or did Evgeny have to do that
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, Evgeny didn't I think they had an off week, so he
Okay.
could go a little bit earlier. Uh, or he just missed his meet or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know, but I didn't wanna miss a home meet, so
Yeah, no,
and we
that
only have a
sucks.
certain amount of those in your career here, so
Yeah.
you don't wanna miss one.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. That's a lot. Uh, and then your next elite meet after that was nationals? Olympic trials.
It was yeah, Olympic
Yeah.
trials,
So
nationals.
finished up the season, and that's the one that I was also going to. So that
Mhm.
that was actually fun because
Yeah,
that wasn't until June and most of my team left. I think actually my whole team pretty much
yeah.
left because school was done and everything and I had to stay and train for Olympic trials. And you were also training for Olympic trials and you guys didn't have many of your team here either, I don't think. So I ended up training with you for a long time
Mhm. There
leading
was,
up
like,
to
3
it.
of us, or,
Yeah.
like, I think 4 total, including you, like, me, Philly, Tay, and you,
Yeah,
because they were doing their nationals, and we had
that's
ours just
right.
after that.
Yeah. That was fun for me because I would have been training by myself, so, like, the events, like floor and vault, I just
Yeah.
did on the men's side so that I had
Hmm,
people to train with. And
mhm.
then, like, all the rehab, like, the contrast, um, hot and cold tubs and, like,
Yeah,
all the
force
rehab
ourselves
stuff.
to, like, do the cold tub
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, holding each other accountable
Uh-huh.
because we were all, I guess you and I but they were going to big competitions too, but we were, like, "Okay, locked in, like, it's time for
Mhm.
Olympic trials. We wanna put each other
Yeah.
in the best position that we could be for that."
Mhm.
That was a crazy time.
Yeah,
Um,
it
and
was.
your Olympic trials went really well.
Yeah, yeah, I was happy with it.
Yeah, Brian and I were watching.
Mm.
Um,
We both did good, though.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had one mistake that was tough, but,
I did
um,
too.
Actually,
I
yeah,
did
you're
too,
pommel.
yeah.
You didn't fall though. It was crazy.
Yeah.
All right. We'll continue with our Olympic trial story when we get back from this break. You are listening to Beyond the Routine with Spence.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
Explain to me again why we're sleeping on the ground.
Because we're thramping, thrift camping. It's saving us money and getting us closer to nature.
But we don't need to thramp. I just combined our home and auto insurance with our State Farm agent, so we have a rate that fits our budget.
All right. Do you think our agent can bring us an air mattress?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Gentlemen, it's time to elevate your style with something from our men's jewelry and watch collection. Why not treat yourself to the ultimate in luxury? We've got an incredible selection of pre-owned Rolex watches, even those hard-to-find models you've been dreaming of. Whether you're stepping up your game day look or adding a touch of class to everyday wear, our top-tier collection is sure to impress. Stop by Sartor Heyman and discover the perfect piece to reflect your unique style. Until next time, happy shopping, guys.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com. General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Travis with Midwest Bank, now with 2 branches conveniently serving Lincoln and 8 other locations across Nebraska. We're here to help you with any of your needs. From opening a checking account to buying a home or financing your business, our staff is here for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank, member FDIC.
Back to Beyond the Routine with Spence on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Emma Spence.
Beyond the Routine with Spence. I'm your host, Emma Spence, and I'm here with my guest, Yanni Chronopoulos. He is on the men's gymnastics team here at Nebraska and also part of the Canadian national team. So we were just talking about our Olympic trials experience. So do you want to continue talking about how that went for you?
Yeah, so it was a 2-day competition. Like we both said, it went pretty well for me and you. We both had one mistake that kind of, we'll just have to live with that one, I guess. But
yeah,
for me, it was on my last routine of the second day, and I had chosen to downgrade a little bit just
I
because,
didn't know that.
well, it was.
Because the rest was looking so good. Like you didn't want to.
Yeah, but it wasn't really like that because I made a decision like before, like the day before. I was like, okay, this skill in my Palmer routine, like I didn't do it well enough for it to be worth it.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I think it's gonna be a better overall score if I just take it out. And like it wasn't really one of like the hardest skills in my routine, but it was one of the skills that's hard to do well.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was still like pretty nervous for that one, and then I went for it. Like I started the routine, and I guess it was like a lapse of judgment. But do we really know why
That's
this
what I
stuff
mean.
happens?
I was
It's
like watching you try and figure it out. Is like I
Yeah.
can do the same thing about my beam routine, but like in the moment, you
It's
did
not
the
like
best that you
lose
could.
focus. It's just like that's what happens.
It's like it happens so fast that
Yeah.
you take your mind off of it for literally less than a second, and then something happens, and then you're like, oh, and then you got to correct
Yeah,
it
and
really
then-
quick, and sometimes it's too late.
Yeah, then you have to find yourself like what just happened. You know what I mean? So I like improvised and I didn't do the skill I was supposed to do because I was about to fall. And then I was like, okay, did I get credit for that?
You have
What
to
do I
start
do
thinking
now? Like,
really
do I try it
fast.
again?
Mhm.
And I'm doing circles, and I'm like, okay, if I keep doing circles, I'm gonna be more tired. So then I just said, okay, I'm gonna scrap it and like do the next skill in the routine.
Mhm.
So then I finished it, and I remember like I was about to I landed and I looked up and I was like, like I was smiling, but it was one of those smiles where it's like, I think that just did it. Like,
Mhm.
ah, if I hit that good, maybe it would have changed something. Maybe it wouldn't have. I don't know. But I think going into that competition, I had a very good chance in being alternate, but I
Mhm.
had to really show out to get that last spot on the team, basically.
Yeah.
And until that point, I was like, okay, I think I might be able to it'll be a decision to make. Like it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, he's alternate 100%. So then after that routine, the final one, I like looked up and I was like, I think I just made their decision. Where it's like I was just bumped out. But
Oh, like you thought you landed, or when you landed, you thought like you weren't gonna make it because of that.
yeah, I
Oh,
was
that's
like, okay,
tough.
I think if I kill this routine, I might have a chance to be that fifth guy.
Mhm.
But then after that mistake happened, I was like, yeah, I think I just bumped down, basically.
That's tough,
Like
and
I didn't make the decision tough for them. Really.
yes, yes, and that's kind of how I felt because I was on beam, which was I think my third event. Yeah, I went vault bars beam, and I fell on like my second or third skill,
Mhm.
and as soon as my feet hit the ground, I was like, that there it is.
Yeah.
Like that was the mistake, and now
It's hard to
probably won't
stay in
make
the
it because
moment.
of that. And it's so hard because it
Yeah.
is like one of the most important competitions that we've ever been to.
Mhm.
One of the most important because you have to qualify and like all that. And yeah, I know exactly the feeling you're talking about because as soon as my feet hit the floor when I fell on that series, I just like was like, wow, that just happened. And like there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do. It's like you really just want to be like, okay, can I have one more chance? Can I just do it
Yeah.
again? Like I know I can hit it. I know I can do
You
it.
rethink it, and you're like,
And then you just try and figure out and like come up with like excuses or reasonings as like why it happened. But in the moment, sometimes you're just off a little bit in gymnastics and it can cost you a lot, unfortunately.
yeah, yeah. I guess we'll have to live with that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Like it's hard because even like some people, like oh my gosh, I'm sure, I'm sure you get this too. It's like, oh, like you should be so proud of yourself. Like you were an alternate. That's still so cool. But it's just like, yes, it is cool. And I'm trying to be like, yes, it is
Mhm.
cool and trying to be proud of myself. But at the same time, it's like, I know what I should have done differently to be able to make it and like
And it
having to
sucks
accept
being
that.
close, you know? It's like
Yes.
I put like my whole life into this and missing it just by a little bit. It's like that's not what I was going for. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, okay, I made like I kind of made it. You know, it's like that's not when you're waking up going to weights at 7 a.m. and when you're sore and when you're just trying to push through things, it's not for like just to kind of make it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, 5 people make it each
Yeah.
country, so it's tough, but I don't know. There's just like it's not fulfillment really.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's like almost everyone's telling you you should be proud and you
Hmm.
should be like, I don't know, family, friends, coaches, everyone's like, you should be so proud of yourself. You've made it this far. It's like, yeah, but I made it this far
Yeah.
and I could have gone further if I didn't make this mistake or if I didn't do this or if didn't do this differently. And then I start overthinking. I don't know if you do.
Yeah.
And you just kind of like replay that moment of like where things went wrong. And it's like, if
It's kind
only
of dark,
this. It
honestly.
is. Definitely
But
is.
that just means that it means something. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
It's like if I wasn't upset about it, then what does it matter,
Yeah.
really? Right? I wouldn't get this far if I wasn't going to be upset about not making it. You know?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, definitely a tough experience. So I don't know if we actually fully mentioned it, but Yanni ended up being alternate. I was also an Olympic alternate. I was non-traveling. Yanni was traveling. Um, so what was that traveling experience like for you? Like, did you have any other camps or training with the
Yeah.
team? Like, how did all that go before going to Paris?
Yeah. So we started off going to um, Belgium
Uh huh.
because we somehow always end up back in Belgium.
Yeah.
Uh, we had a 10-day camp, I think, that I'm trying to remember now. Again, it's all just a blur, honestly.
Yes.
So
Yes, it definitely is.
yeah, we went to Belgium and then we had this like 5 or 6 days to train. And then we had a friendly competition where we joined in with Belgium's Olympic trials.
Okay.
So it was like there were locals that came to watch the Belgian Olympic trials, and it's like, oh, we just happened to have Team Canada with us,
Mhm.
right? So we were on another event, um, and we just kind of did it like a simulation of the Olympics because we knew we were going to start on this event, and then just like a run through of it. And then we went to Romania, did
Mhm.
that same competition we did before Worlds.
Yeah.
Um, it was a little much, to be honest, because we did that stuff, and then we went back home,
Mhm.
and then we went back to Europe. So, I mean, if you go to Europe, you kind of want to stay in Europe
Yeah.
for like the long Olympic process.
Mhm.
But then it's like we went there, we did 2 competitions, we came back for 2 weeks, and then we flew back to Europe, knowing that we're gonna be in Europe for like a while.
Yeah.
And then so that second trip started with south of France training camp,
Mhm.
which south of France is beautiful,
Yep.
but not I mean, it was beautiful, okay? But it was very difficult training in like 110 degrees with no AC,
Yeah.
or for the Canadian viewers, like 35 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. um, yeah, no AC routines like every day. And they really push routines.
Mhm.
So, you know, when you can't train properly because you forgot a towel and sweat is dripping in your eyes when you're on
Yeah.
ring, it's like It's
That's a
pretty
lot.
difficult,
Yeah.
Um, and then after that, we that's kind of where when my alternate duties were like fulfilled in a
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
because I was doing everything the team was doing. And then we took a train from south of France to Paris.
Mhm.
And when they landed when we all got to Paris, that's when we split ways.
Yeah.
So the entire team went into the village, and then they just gave me where they said, "This is where you buy a ticket. Um, get to this hotel." Right?
They left you by yourself?
Well, they all had to go to the village,
Yeah.
and I'm not blaming them for
No,
leaving.
no, I know,
That's
but,
just
like, there
like
was no, like, program manager or anything that was with you?
no, no.
That's crazy.
So it was kind of funny. Like they helped me a lot on like the phone, but
Mhm.
I went there and I went to the booth and got the ticket, and
Mhm.
then I went to scan the ticket, and they were like, "This is invalid."
Oh,
It's
no.
like, "What? What do I do then?" Right?
Yeah.
So then I had to wait in line for like an hour to get this new ticket because it was some organizational fault that all the Olympics was just
It was probably
like
very chaotic.
overwhelming them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I finally got to the hotel and I joined in with the girls team,
Yes.
and that's where they were having their training camp. Um,
The other alternates, right?
well, the whole team until uh they went to the village 2 days after we did for some
Oh,
reason.
okay.
So we had like a 2 day overlap where
Mhm.
I was with the whole women's team, and yeah, then like their team went to the village, and it was just the three alternates, the two girls ones, and then me. Um, and we kind of just like at that point, it was you have 2 or 3 trainings left until the Olympics, like, very safe trainings for my team, and I
Mhm.
remember I would text them and ask, like, "Okay, how did it go?" Like,
Yeah, just
just
making sure.
because you need to stay ready and almost feel like you're about to compete.
And, like, mentally be
Oh,
ready.
it's so draining too because, like,
Yeah.
I would do, like, a turn in this gym that we would stay at,
Mhm.
and then I knew that my team was training in the village or, like, at their facility.
Yeah.
And I would, like, do a turn and then go back to my phone, check my phone,
'Cause
be
you
like,
had to be
"Okay."
on call in case
Yeah,
someone got hurt, and you'd be sent in the village right away and
yeah,
switched out.
and our competition started at, like, 11 a.m.
Mhm.
one day, and then I think it was 24 hours before was the latest I could get called.
Yeah.
So we started, our practice at, like, 10.
Mhm.
So then I was, like, stretching and warming up, and then I was like, "Okay, 30 minutes." Looking at, like remember I looked at, like, their Snap Map locations to see, like, "Alright, they're at the gym, okay."
Yeah.
And then I would do a turn and then look back on my phone, refresh the WhatsApp,
Yeah.
and it was just so like, "Alright, I gotta chill," basically, you know what
It's
I mean?
so hard, though.
Yeah.
It's so hard because you want to be a part of it, and you wanna be there, and you
Mhm.
wanna compete so bad, and you're so close, but at the same time, you don't wanna take that spot from someone,
No,
and
you
you
don't
don't
want someone to get hurt
yeah, you
too.
don't want someone to get hurt, and you don't wanna be hoping that they get hurt,
No.
but at the same time, you wanna have that opportunity so badly because you've also put in the same amount of work that they have.
Mhm.
It's almost like the way I felt was like they get the reward from it, but you don't fully get the reward from it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's such a
It's
weird
so weird.
thing. Yeah, because then I knew, like I would text them every day, be like, how's everyone feeling?" It's like, "Okay, this guy's, like, ankle's really sore."
Yeah.
It's like, "But he'll be okay."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, how sore is really sore? Like,
Mhm.
how ready should I be, basically?" And they're like, "Oh, he'll be fine." And then it's like, "Oh, he didn't do this day because he wanted to save it for this day." I was like,
That's
like trying to
hard
figure
too.
stuff out in my head, like, okay, I know that they're probably gonna be on vault at this point when they're training.
Mhm.
So then, like, I have to be ready to look at my phone almost, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, oh, did they finish vault? Okay, they finished vault. I
Yeah.
can chill for a little bit. And it was just like basically probably sound crazy talking about
No,
it now, but
I
it's like
fully
that's how I
understand.
felt. I just felt
Yeah,
crazy.
it's so hard. Yeah. There's, like, no other I don't know, like, I just don't even know what to compare it to because it feels like you're part of the team, and you're with them, and you're doing what they're doing, but at the same time, you're not, and, like,
Yeah.
you don't get the full kit, like, the gear,
No,
you don't get
it's
the Olympic Village experience, you don't get everything, but technically, you're still part of the team, but, like,
mhm.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. You're like at some point we had this joke, me and the two girls that were there, we were like we were eating a meal and then like someone was like, "Oh, I'm not hungry. Do you want the rest?" I was like, "No, I'm good." And then the person was like, "No, I'm okay." And then I started laughing and they're like, "Why are you laughing?" And I was like, that's us right there.
Oh my
I was like, we're the leftovers, which is kind of like, it wasn't like that where it's like they obviously cared about us and stuff, but it was
Yeah.
just like a dark, almost joke where it like kind of came into my mind, and I was like,
No, I
feel
fully
like the
understand.
leftovers, you know?
And I felt that with the competition, like the training camps that we had before, they made it
Mm,
so clear, like this is the team and these are the alternates, and like they get this and we don't get this,
yeah.
and it was just such a like clear divide. Anyways, with that, we are going to be heading into our next break, and we'll be back soon. You're listening to Beyond the Routine with Spence.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket. All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread? I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax.
I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more, all at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Back to Beyond the Routine with Spence on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Emma Spence.
Welcome back to Beyond the Routine. I'm your host, Emma Spence, and I'm here with Yanni Chronopoulos. We were just talking about our Olympic alternate experience. Got any final statements? I know we talked about the kind of dark side and unspoken side of being an alternate, because everyone does say, like, congratulations, it's amazing, like, good for you, you should be so excited about it. But there is that other mental side of it that is dark, and it is really hard to navigate.
Yeah, you kind of don't want to hear, like, sometimes at some point it's like, oh, congratulations. It's like, yeah, thanks. You know what I mean?
They're like, but you basically made it. I was like, yeah, that's the problem. I
Yeah,
basically made
exactly.
it, but I didn't. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, as a whole, I learned a lot from it. It
Yes.
was like I wouldn't have rather, like, that never happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you'll learn from
I would
it.
have rather made it,
Yes.
but but like it was cool, and I got lucky enough to go visit the village on
Mhm.
2 separate
Cool.
occasions where I was like, it was pretty motivating, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would look around and, like, I don't know. You walk on the street, like, how often are you gonna see, like, this person that I'm looking at, like, or I'm walking beside is, like, the top in the world or one of the tops in the world at what they do.
Yep.
Like, that never happens just walking down the street, but, like, every single person that's around me is, like, top, what, 100 in the world, basically? Like, has
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah, that was motivating, that was cool. The village, the village itself was very cool too. Like, they basically just build a city
Yeah.
almost, right?
Yeah. For the athletes to stay in.
Yeah, and you just, like, walk up and there's, like, "You want some cookies?" Like, "Okay." Like, do you pay for them?" And they're like, "No, just here
No,
you
just
go."
they give
Yeah.
you so much free
Yeah,
stuff
and, like, I
too.
wasn't supposed to get it as a guest, but I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you wanna grab a cookie?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was really cool. Again, like, it's hard to describe to people, but, you know, walking on the opposite side of the kind of gates that say Paris 2024 in it,
Mhm.
and you're, like, just on the outside, and I don't know, it's just kinda it's a weird feeling.
It's hard, and yeah, like you said, not many people understand what that's like, and fortunately, we had each other to kind of talk about those experiences leading up to it, afterwards, heading into it, all that. Very grateful that I had someone here that kind of understood what that was like. So you mentioned that was motivating.
Yeah.
So are you going to use that motivation and try for LA 2028?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the plan for now, or as of now, it's the plan. I'm in my 5th year here, so,
Mhm.
like, nothing changes there. Basically, if I was anywhere I would be, I'd be training the same, I would say. I have the best opportunities here to,
Mhm.
like, get that post-Olympic year, like,
Yeah.
not skip a beat, basically. Because, like, I got back and all the guys were like, all right, this is my routines for the next year. And mentally, I'm kind of on vacation, but it's
Yeah.
like you got to snap out of it. And you're competing in a couple months.
Did you get any time off after, or you kind of had to jump right back into it?
Yeah, I got like 3 weeks
Okay.
ish,
Yeah.
right? Because I just needed some time, a little
Yes,
bit.
for sure.
And yeah, I caught up with the guys. And even now, I would say I'm a little bit behind in terms of putting routines together, but it's a smarter decision for me not
Mhm.
to, because I did routines when they were not doing routines for like
Yeah,
months,
exactly.
right? You
That's
just
what's
need
going
time to
on.
kind of wind down a little bit. But yeah, 2028 is the goal now. I just, as long as I stay healthy, and
Mhm.
you never know with gymnastics, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna prepare for it similarly how I prepared for this one, and I guess we'll
Once you
see. Yeah,
graduate here, are you planning on going to train back in Canada for those next couple years?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
That's the plan. I mean, it's
As of right now.
as of right now, yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot to think about, and, like, just the logistics to try and figure out what's possible, what's not possible.
Mhm.
Where is the best fit? Like, I mean, I would have to, if I leave, I have to find the right coach for me.
Yes,
And
true.
sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Um, I'm used to one way here, and
Mhm.
chances are I'm not going to have an identical replacement. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, I'm thinking Montreal is a good possibility because that's where our national training center is,
Yeah.
and 90% of our team is there too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking that's the plan for now.
Nice. Is there anything you're most excited for or anything you're expecting to come out of your final year here at Nebraska?
It kind of felt like a little bit of a weight off my shoulders after I came back. I was like, so like this all I would think about was nationals, like which was our Olympic trials. And
Yeah.
like after that whole like when I came back, I was like, it almost felt a little bit freeing
Mhm.
where it's like now I just get to train.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And like all the stress is kind of gone.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, it kind of made it a little harder to go all out in the gym because it took me a little bit to kind of get the fire back.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm just excited to be a little bit like have a little bit less stress and just let loose a little bit more and have fun with my team basically. And
How do you think the
yeah,
team is looking? Because you guys did really well last year.
yeah,
Nebraska men's gymnastics team.
yeah. We won Big Ten regular season.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that again. That's our goal.
Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully climb up in the rankings at like Big Ten championships and NCAA championships. I think we're looking good. I think
Mhm.
we're pretty on track now. We all know it's a long season,
Yeah.
and I feel like the older guys are doing a good job in telling the younger guys on our team that it is a long season and
Mhm.
not to like burn out too quick
Yeah.
because I've definitely felt like that in the past that I did that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think we're in good standing now.
That's super exciting. So, one more thing I want to talk about is that you and I are now the athlete reps at Gymnastics Canada, which
Yeah,
is really cool. You for the men's side, me for the women's side. I just think that's crazy that it ended up being both of us,
yeah,
especially being at Nebraska in a different country, but they still chose us to be the athlete representatives.
yeah. I guess it says something good about the NCAA and like
That's true.
taking initiative for stuff a little bit.
That's true. I feel
Leadership type
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. But yeah, being here, all the opportunities to be a leader and
Hmm.
step into that role that once that opportunity was presented to us, we're both
Yeah, like
just like,
I think I
okay.
could do a good job in this.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I remember we were talking
Yeah,
in the training room. I was like, hey, like I applied for this. You're like, I applied for this too. I
yeah,
was like, oh, wouldn't that be crazy if we both like were
yeah.
selected and here we are
Here we are.
looking
Yeah.
to create positive change to Gymnastics Canada from the athlete side.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's a wrap on tonight's show. I was Beyond the Routine with Emma Spence and Yanni Chronopoulos.
Game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.